This is a lifetime cost curve for a patent that I put together just as a example. I mean, more or less, your mileage may differ. These numbers are fairly representative of a typical patent process. So I find that a lot of people have never thought about the whole picture, and I like to always begin with the end in mind. So starting here, when you come up with an idea, you might take it to your patent attorney, and a couple months later, get a patent pending. And this is not to scale. This is every time there's a cash flow event, meaning you pay money for your patent. So about 18 months later, you might get an office action. So this whole period of time here, you're in the patent office, and each of these represents some sort of back and forth with the patent examiner. And this is where you can have the biggest impact on the cost of patents. Because once you get out of the patent office, you have an issued patent, you only pay a fee at 4 years, 8 years, and 12 years, and then you're done. There's nothing else to pay. This is the same for everybody. There's no room to improve that. That's just a cost of what it is to pay the patent office. But in here, there's a lot of, and this is actually can be much more significant than the initial cost for filing a patent application. Again, these numbers are just representative. Just look at the trends. Don't worry about the specific numbers. And so this is how it sort of plays out. You go through and you get your first round non-final office action. Patent office says, no, you can't have it. You spend some money, 6 months goes by, you get a first round final office action, you spend some money, 6 months goes by, you file what's called an RCE. Okay, that RCE is an important flag. If there's one thing for executives to remember, you start seeing a lot of these things called RCEs. That's the simple way to tell that you need to pay attention to maybe your process is going off the rails. So if you get an RCE, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's maybe a warning flag. And then you get round 2, non-final office action, pay your money, 6 months goes by, you get a final office action. If you still haven't persuaded the examiner, you might appeal. That appeal, I haven't represented it here, but it might take 2 years. I mean, that's a typical. I don't have a lot of experience with appeals because I avoid them somehow. I've been managed to avoid them in my career, but apparently I'm told by Fortune 100 executives that you got to avoid those things because they stink. They're very expensive. They take a lot of time and they chew up. So what's happening is you're getting more and more frustrated. Who's feeling more and more frustrated just thinking about this, right? And you might go to a second RCE, now in your third round non-final office action. And we see this, and the reason I say this is I was actually shocked that this is what we were seeing, and this is just my own empirical experience. We had a lot of clients transfer their business from other law firms to our firm, and we saw that this is what was going on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes even 8 office actions. And that's very expensive. But that's not what's really hurting you. The real expense is hidden. I'll show you that in a minute. But time is marching on and cost is going up. And that's where you can have the biggest impact. Now, filing a patent application is a lot like baking a cake. When you bake a cake, you put in the ingredients, the flour, the eggs, butter, whatever. My wife tells me there's a few ingredients, right? You mix it around, and when you put it in the oven, it starts to bake. You can't then take it out and add more stuff to the batter, right? I mean, it's too late at that point. The patent application is the same way. Once you file your patent and it's patent pending, whatever you put in there, that's what you're going to live with for the next 20 years, 240 months. plus the 2 months to get it on file. That's the whole life cycle of the patent. So if you're going to have an impact, a really significant impact on bending this cost curve down and accelerating it forward, the only place you can do it is right up here, right at the beginning with the end in mind. Thank you very much.